All right, everybody, let's do this. Take home exam review. These are your questions, and let's just go over them together. For the first question, how do you read it? You say, 9 to what power is the fourth root of 9? 5 to what power is 1? The natural log of e to the x over 3, how do you translate that? Okay, so we'll go over each one. What I want you to do is just have this in your notes, okay? And pause the video. So let's see, for this part over here, this is saying 9 to what power, right, is the fourth root of 9? Well, remember that the fourth root of 9, right, it's equal to 9 to the 1/4, okay? This is that property where, like, if I have, like the square root of x is equal to x to the 1/2. Cubic root of x is equal to x to the 1/3, right? What if I have cubic root of x squared? What does that equal? That's equal to x to the 2/3. Okay, so this one, you just say that this is equal to 9 to the x is equal to 9 to the 1/4. So x is just equal to 1/4, right? And that's it. So then your answer here is just 1/4. What about the next one? Here, how do we do this one? Let's do this in a different color. Let's do it in green. It's saying 5 to what power is 1? And that one's not too bad. This should just be to the 0, right? Because anything to the 0 is 1, except 0 to the 0, which you're not allowed to do. So this is equal to 0. Now let's look at this one over here. If you're just looking at this and you're saying, Mr., I'm not very sure about this ln business, the ln business is not too bad because here, the natural log of e to the x over 3, basically ln is the same as log base e, okay? And here, if you have the same base to the same, if these two values are the same, like if I have an a and an a, then it just becomes the exponent. So what am I talking about over here? Like let's say this ln of e to the x over 3 is just basically the log base e to the x over 3. And the idea is that anytime if you have a logarithm where these two values are the same, what happens is they just cancel out and you're just left with x over 3, okay? And that's what happens. So like for example, let me do another one for you. Like if I have, let's say if I want to solve this equation, like 2 to the x is equal to 20, right? We know that 2 to the 1 is 2. 2 to the 2 is 4. 2 to the 3 is 8. 2 to the 4 is 16. 2 to the 5 is 32, right? We just keep doubling, right? But what value of 2 will give me 20, right? That's what this question is saying. 2 to what value gives us 20? Notice that it can't be 4 and it can't be 5 because at 4 it's 16, at 5 it's 32. So this value has to be some sort of decimal, right? It has to be like 4 point something, right? And to do this, to actually solve this, we need to take the logarithm of 2 on both sides, because if you take log base 2 on both sides, right, just like we said before, these cancel, and then here you're saying 2 to what power is 20. And I have no idea what it is, but you know what does know what it is? The calculator. So let me get my calculator and I'll show you in a second. What's log base 2 of 20? So what do? You just go to a second window. Okay, no, that's not how you do it. How do I do it on this calculator? Wait a minute. Oh yeah, alpha window. What am I talking about? Alpha window, and then it's log base, and then notice here you're allowed to put in the numbers. You put a 2 over here, and you get a 20 over here. And what's the prediction for our answer? That our answer has to be somewhere between 4 and 5, and notice that it gives us 4.32. So if I do 2 to the 4.321928095, if I do this, it will give me 20. And if you want, you could check it in your calculator. You just do 2 to the 4.321928095, and notice that it gives you 20. Isn't that amazing? All right. So hopefully this feels good. Let's move on. So here, what is this saying? This is saying e to what power is e to the x over 3? And this is just equal to x over 3. That's it. This answer over here is just x over 3. Because whenever you have an ln e, it just cancels, and you're just left with the exponent. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. The camera angle was bad. Okay. What I just said was that if there's an ln e, this ln of e, the natural log of e, just cancels it, and you're just left with the exponent. Okay? Let's look at the next one over here. What I want you to do is take your time and try and do this one by yourself, right? Okay, if you want to, with me here, it's 2 to what power is 1 over 16, right? And the way you should try and solve this question is get the bases to be the same, right? Here, notice that the bases are not the same. But what's the relationship between 2 and 16? 2 to what power equals 16? It's 4. 2 to the 4 is 16. So then how do you get 1 over 16? It has to be 2 to the negative 4. Okay? So notice that this is equal to, this 1 over 16 is equal to 2 to the negative 4. And then what power of x will give you 2 to the negative 4? This has to be negative 4. Okay? Let's move on. For this question here, the natural log of 1 over e to the 2, the same idea here. This is the same as, let me use a different color. This will be the same as log base e 1 over e squared. So this is saying e to what power is equal to 1 over e squared. And this will just be negative 2. Okay? Because if I have e to the negative 2, that's equal to 1 over e squared. Right? So this answer is just negative 2. What about the next one? Did I give the same question? Oh my god, I gave the same question. Whoops. Okay, so this is just negative 4. This one, what I want you to try and do is, let's move on. Let's try and do these questions over here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okie dokie, that's better. Let's do 7, 8, 9, 10. So here, for this question, this is saying what? 125 to what power is 1 over 5? And the idea is the same. Get the bases to be the same. Right? So here, what's the relationship? When you get to this point, ask yourself, what's the relationship between 5 and 125? Is there a way to manipulate one of these numbers to get the other? And notice that 5 to the 3 is equal to 125, right? If 5 to the 3 is 125, 5 to the negative 3 is 1 over 125, okay? So here, this 125, this 1 over, oh wait, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so notice that 125, my bad. So 125 is equal to 5 to the 3. And 1 over 5 is equal to 5 to the minus 1. Right? So this value, oh yeah, so then this becomes an x over here. Right? Because you're saying this 125 is 5 to the 3. So now here, 3x is equal to minus 1. And then you divide both sides by 3. So x is equal to negative 1 over 3. Okay. I think I did that. I don't think I did that so well. Let me try and do that. Let me try and do that one again. Here, the idea was, I'll do this question again. Here you're saying 125 to the what power is 1 over 5. So remember, the idea is to get the bases to be the same. So if I know 125 is equal to 5 to the 3, then this is an x here, right? So I know that 5 to the 3 to the x is equal to 1 over 5. But I know 1 over 5 is the same as 5 to the negative 1. So then I have 5 to the 3x is equal to 5 to the negative 1. And now here, because the bases are the same, you're allowed to say that the exponents are equal, and then x is 1 over 3. I'm sorry, negative 1 over 3. Okay? Let's try and do the next one. You have log base 81 equals 27. So 81 to what power is 27? So what I want you to do is take your time and try and see, is there a number that seems very familiar that's within this family of 27 and 81, okay? And here, notice that you have to be good with your exponents. Notice that 3 to the 1 is 3, 3 to the 2 is 9, 3 to the 3 is 27, and 3 to the 4 is 81, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this 81 to 3 to the 4, to the x, right? So this 81 just becomes 3 to the 4, and this 27 becomes 3 to the 3. And what's the idea? It's because now that I have 3 to the 4x equals 3 to the 3, now the bases are the same, so 4x equals 3, x is equal to 3 over 4. Okay, so then this answer here is 3 over 4. And if you want, why does plugging this 3 over 4 into 81, like why is 81 to the 3 over 4 equal to 27, question mark, right? That's what it's saying, right? That's what we just solved for. You're saying 81 to what power is 27? It's to the 3/4, but why? So let's just check it very quickly. Here, remember what we talked about over here, back to this part over here? That if I have x to the 2 over 3, it becomes the cubic root of x squared. So then how can we use this property over here to help us solve this? Notice that this is the same as, let's see, this is the same as the 4th root of 81, the whole thing cubed, equals 27, question mark. And here, what's the 4th root of 81? What number times itself 4 times gives me 81? It's 3. And then 3 to the 3, is that 27? Yes, 27 does equal 27. Check. Okay. What I want you to try and do is try and figure these out on your own. Right? Best of luck. I'll see you.